You're about to walk into 2026 carrying things you don't even realize are weighing you down. Not bad habits, not mistakes, but invisible psychological baggage that quietly decides how your next year will feel. Let me tell you something strange. Every year, right before the clock hits midnight, people feel hope and heaviness at the same time. You promise yourself this year will be different, but deep down, a small voice whispers, "What if it isn't?" And that voice doesn't come from the future. It comes from what you're dragging with you from the past. I once noticed something about New Year's resolutions. They don't fail because people are lazy. They fail because people enter the new year with the same emotional patterns, the same self-talk, the same unresolved weight, just wrapped in fresh motivation. Psychology calls this emotional carryover. Your brain doesn't reset just because the calendar changes. It keeps unfinished emotional loops running in the background. Regrets, comparisons, guilt, fear, stories about who you are and what you always do. So, when January comes, you're not starting fresh. You're continuing a story. Think about it. How many times have you said, "I always start strong, then I fall off," or "I'll change once I feel ready"? That's not honesty. That's identity talking. And identities are powerful because the brain works hard to stay consistent with who it thinks you are. Here's the dangerous part. When you walk into 2026 carrying self-blame, you turn every small mistake into proof that you were right about yourself. Miss one workout? See? Same old me. Have one unproductive day? I knew it wouldn't last. This is called confirmation bias, your brain selectively noticing evidence that supports the story you already believe. And let's talk about comparison. Scrolling into the new year, watching other people's highlight reels, silently measuring your life against someone else's filtered success. Psychology shows that comparison doesn't motivate most people, it paralyzes them. Because instead of asking, "What's my next step?" you ask, "Why am I behind?" And shame never creates change, it creates hiding. There's also the weight of unfinished emotional business, old arguments you replay in your head, apologies you never got, versions of yourself you're still angry at. Your brain hates open loops. It keeps them alive, draining mental energy, energy you think you lack motivation for, but you actually lack closure for. Then there's the quiet one, waiting for the perfect version of yourself. The one who wakes up motivated, the one who isn't scared, the one who somehow changes overnight. But psychology is clear. Action creates clarity, not the other way around. Waiting to feel ready is just fear wearing a polite mask. Here's the shift most people never make. The new year isn't asking you to become someone new. It's asking you to stop carrying what no longer belongs to you. You don't need to enter 2026 believing every thought you think. You don't need to bring the identity of someone who always fails. You don't need to bring last year's disappointments as evidence of your future. Those are stories, not facts. The most powerful psychological move you can make before the new year is this. Decide what doesn't cross the threshold with you. Leave behind the habit of being cruel to yourself for learning slowly. Leave behind the need to prove anything to anyone who doesn't live your life. Leave behind the belief that motivation comes first. And leave behind the idea that one bad day defines an entire year. Enter 2026 lighter. Not perfect, not fearless, just more honest, more aware, more compassionate with yourself. Because the strongest people don't start the new year with hype. They start it with clarity. And maybe that's the real reset, not changing your life overnight, but finally stopping yourself from standing in your own way.